welcome to this week's episode of the Duskmourn Chronicles. Finally, an episode that wasn't so miserably depressing that we wanted to just cry. I mean, it was a beautiful episode. There were tears. They were definitely. Actually, you know what? It wasn't. Well, no, I'm being optimistic about this episode. Is what I'm saying.
This episode
is an episode where we don't want to cry. Right. Challenge. Hopefully accepted.
I'm not promising anything.
No, me neither.
I'm just a tap.
A brief recap from last week. Ooh, 5. That's you.
Ah, congratulations. It's me.
You lucky things.
So last week we had successfully completed, defeating Fasak, big boss, and that was great. And Gottfried finally got his hands on the Crepuscularium. So he had spent his time reading that and being very single-minded about it. Meanwhile, Doran had gone into the forest and he had come back with Flowering Pine, the centaur who was holding the living map and the living order book. And he had eventually brought that back into the camp. And they had a very touching moment when, I'll get to in a minute, while Gottfried was reading his Crepuscularium, a big tiefling woman, or a live tiefling woman, whatever, landed in his lap. And Gottfried thought that all his Christmases had come true at once. But then he realized that he couldn't read the book, so he kind of shushed her away. Then we had the kind of funeral for Georgina, and that was kind of moving. There were things said. There was tributes mouthed for Georgina, many of them quite touching. Avaradus and Gottfried threw shade at the gods, which didn't work out very well for them because the gods then
backfired to a fairly serious degree.
They smote them with some divine energy. So in the end, that was what happened, and we went to a long rest finally. And I would say the magic words, we managed to level up to level 7. So that's where we are now, sitting in the breakfast hall after Avaradus had a call with Captain Charles about arranging 3 days hence the conference call, the arcane call,
The UN.
Arcanogram.
the Arcanogram. And that's what we're preparing for now.
So for the next 2 days, what are our intrepid hero folk doing?
Well, you and I need to have a conversation.
We do.
There are certain threads left that need tying up.
Andante.
Yes, that's one of them. Also, the patching of relationships between the dwarves and the centaurs. I'd like to catch up on them just at least once, just to see how things are progressing and where things will lie in the future for these two. Let's see what, considering we just saved both parties somehow from destroying each other, what use we can see from them in the future.
Or a bloody reward.
Yeah, well, we'll come to that in a bit.
The Bane is in quite a good mood.
Really?
Is he all right? He's a dwarf.
I know.
Give him some more beer.
To be perfectly frank with you, sir, you have done something which I don't think any other dwarf would be capable of doing. We have reevaluated our situation with the centaurs. Now, I can only speak for our grand Thanes and their wisdom, but Erechbar, moving forward, will be a city that works with the centaurs. They're cheaper than just buying horses.
That's not really the... Okay.
What of your architecture?
Aye, we've had a look at that. Thanks to the recent invasion, we've now got a lot of land that's been freed up. Once the rubble's been cleared, of course. But, well, they're quite strong. And some of their ideas are quite smart. That and also, they're very strong. Did I mention that?
You did.
Aye. There seems to be some sort of advantage in this height thing.
Well, between dwarven hardiness and ingenuity, and centaur's strength and knowledge of the wilds, perhaps there's some hope for the two of you yet.
That's what we're thinking. They're quite pleasant when you get down to it, you know. And a lot less baby eating, too. None, actually.
perhaps cooperation between all the species is not out of the question.
I wouldn't go that far, but certainly with centaurs, it's not as bad as we thought it was.
Well, just hold that in your mind when decisions are made and allies, friends are called upon in hard times. For these are the hardest of times.
Why? We've defeated the grand evil that was threatening us.
That was but one, sad to say, small cog in a larger machine.
In Erech Bar.
Erech Bar was perhaps one of the first to be hit. But think of this on a global scale.
Ah. And there's still the merfolk to be dealt with, don't forget that.
Not just on your shores, but, well, we can presume.
I've been speaking with they're the Banes hiding out in the Seven Hills. They're not happy.
Do they need retrieving? Where will they reconvene?
Well, they were waiting on the outcome of this battle, and yesterday I took the liberty of informing. So they're now returning to their villages, which is fair. We're not going anywhere near the water. That's still a dangerous place. We had a scout yesterday go back into the pool. He got too close to the edge. Great big tentacle came out and pulled him in faster than lightning.
Seen it for myself. Now, one of my big concerns is for the healing of those who have been dishomed, for those who are being attacked on the roads, some of the outlying villages who were seen to be under siege as well. What support can you aid them as?
Well, we're getting there. Again, the centaurs are quite quick people too, you know that. I mean, we sent a dwarvish runner, he's barely left the citadel, and the centaurs already got to the village. So, there's a lot of advantages to, making friends.
I think we need to set up some sort of network where we can help each other, help those on the road still. Medical officers as well, all sorts of resources that need to be managed in times of war. This is still a time of war. Consider this battle not just a one opportunity to show your dwarven stout-heartedness. That will be needed in the coming days.
By any small wee chance, the Dark Elves aren't involved on the other side of the war, are they?
Unknown to us currently.
It would be really useful if they were.
Well, in honesty, beyond the merfolk and the centaurs, and the beings of the Shadowfell, we know not enough who are our friends, who are our enemies. That is why there will be a call in 3 days hence to get to know some of the other leaders, find out what they know, and try and come up with some sort of plan. We have a few days to prepare for this meeting, come up with some ideas. Any notions you have, you can mull over and come back to us with, would be appreciated.
Work with centaurs.
Yes, there's a big box ticked in my mind. Centaurs, yes.
Aye.
Dwarves, yes.
Certainly what we've learned.
Okay. Anything, creative beyond that would be just fantastic.
Aye. I have asked one of our leading engineers to work out how to burn the ocean. He wasn't optimistic on finding a solution, but I thought it might be something worth putting our heads together.
Creativity. Don't let me, just don't take this the wrong way. You suffer with creativity and imagination.
I've never suffered from creativity.
I didn't think so. No. Worry not.
My brother's an artist. He was suffering all over the place.
I've seen
Tortured soul or some what? I don't know. I wasn't listening.
he's not a bard with bagpipes.
Well, you know him.
Right. Yes, I know the very bad.
Aye.
Okay. So what I need from you for now is just a report on how the reinforcements are going, what souls are committed to what amongst
We
the
are
ranks.
hoping that they will be here by the end of tomorrow.
Do you know if they have amongst them the prince?
No.
You don't know, or no, they don't have him?
I don't know.
You don't. Okay.
Why would they have the prince?
Well, we need the prince, and if someone could fetch the prince, we would be in Well, I don't think we're in debt, to be perfectly frank. I think we're... Have around us, don't fall back to your mercenary ways. What sort of favour would you have for the saviour of a city?
Oh, I know where you're going. Don't you worry. We've planned a ceremony.
Take a ceremony. Some sort of useful tools to help us fuel our soldiers and, well, ourselves in fighting this war.
Aye, I've got my brother working on my speech. Don't worry, it'll be heartwarming and it will certainly raise the cockles.
Okay. Cockles aside, we could do with some money, some weapons.
Cut to the point.
Oh, Cabbage City.
Okay, I tell you what, you're committed to helping your people, but if there's anything to spare, then it would be appreciated.
Just plain weapons and money.
I mean, money makes the world go round, does it not? But no, I was thinking more powerful. And you know what? Just you worry about your people, and you'll be doing
Well,
fine.
If you come with me, sir. He takes you back into one of the bigger offices, and you can see there is a chest that's been sort of placed near his desk. He opens it up, and inside you can see this very fine cloak, which almost looks like it's made out of chainmail, and an absolutely gorgeous mace that is definitely made out of mithril. There appears to be some other bits and bobs in there. We were just going to give you the treasures of the city, but if you just want cash, he says as he slams the lid shut,
No.
I'm sure we can organise a couple of things.
Treasures of the city will do just fine.
Oh, but I thought you said you just wanted weapons and cash.
Well, let's consider that a down payment on the weapons and cash. An installation plan, if you will.
Of what?
Can we step in and shut this bastard up before we
Sorry.
lose a
Stop
bunch
letting
of
him
really
go off
nice
on his
magic
own.
items?
Yeah.
Because
Can you start singing or something? We need to
Sorry.
We
close
ain't
this
there.
conversation.
We ain't there.
I'm betting
Bentine walks past the door.
Hold that thought.
Hold that thought.
No, it's okay. Like I say, we've gone over a few things. I'll just highlight them again. Refugees need taking care of.
Aye.
You need taking care of yourselves. You're
Aye.
doing that perfectly fine. We've got some reinforcements coming. And prepare for a group call. Think of ideas of how we.
Why
could-
would I be involved in a group call?
Well, I want you there to sing my
just a
praises. Having a character reference would be nice from yourself, maybe.
Do you still have silence?
I'll get my brother to write one.
Okay.
Right, so
We're done here. Thank you so much, and it was a pleasure working with you.
take the treasure.
Right, very well.
I try shifting the chest.
Oh, it's quite heavy. It'll be given to you at the ceremony, sir.
Okay.
Go follow pomp and circumstance. You know.
Nothing wrong with a bit of pomp.
No. Meanwhile,
Oh my god.
what are the three of you doing?
So, have I read enough of this thing at this point to draw any conclusions? You said that it was three.
Yeah.
You said there were three parts. You said there were three
He
books.
said it's one of the three.
One of the three books.
Yeah.
Okay. Mulling that over and considering what I've read so far, anything falling together for me?
Well, unfortunately, if you skip to the back of this book,
Page 56.
yeah, you're like, the back of the book, the question that is asked, it is an entire chapter, as a matter of fact, which you strongly suspect the author, having read the first few pages, ain't gonna answer in a short amount of
Indeed.
time. A very long-winded chapter, but it ends with the following question. And I hope you haven't heard it before. You might have. Where is this? Sorry, I need to read this one out loud. If the gods could stop the cycles, why do they not?
Mhm.
If we can stop the cycles, should we not? Question mark. The answer is we absolutely should.
Big fat grin.
And that's
Got
how
you,
the book
yeah.
ends.
Right.
And so
Yeah, clearly.
Gemini might be onto something that there's more than one book.
Yeah, nonetheless, Godfrey is very pleased that what he's anticipated is what he's finding.
Yes.
But
So
then he will-
you get +3 to your religion permanently.
Whoa.
Having read this book.
Dankeschön.
That's a boom.
Very nice.
You are now fairly certain that there's a repeating pattern of groups of 6. It's always 6 gods. But there are, as I said, thousands of groups or thousands of 6s. And it's not like a family tree. It's not like this god gave birth to that god. It's the way that it's written, it's almost a catalogue of existing gods. But you've only ever heard of 6.
Is there any indication of some kind of multiverse situation? There's different gods in different universes or something like that? Or is that just not there?
The book doesn't. The book refers to all existence.
Yeah.
So it never specifically states this or that. Yeah.
Okay.
The other confusing thing is that the list of these gods, it reads as if they are the ones that are currently in power.
6 gods that I know
The
of?
thousands
Or the thousands are the ones considered.
that are currently in power. But you only know of the 6.
Okay. This is very interesting.
So we didn't just piss off 6 gods. We pissed off thousands.
Okay. So, with that knowledge under my belt, I immediately make a beeline for Gemini.
Mhm.
You said there are 2 other books. Did you mean that there are 2 other parts to the Crepuscularium?
Of course.
And your home is where one of them resides?
No, my home is very similar, or at least was ever so similar to this world that we are in now.
So you are from another plane of existence or another world. You are
Another world, another reality. My family, my house, had the power to send me into this reality to try and stop what has happened to my home.
I understand.
My home has crumbled.
And it is the same thing. The Shadowfell is trying to destroy all parts of the material plane.
They are indeed.
And they are succeeding in some certain
They have
places.
succeeded in my world.
You have my sympathies. Very well. Do you have any idea as to the location of the other 2 parts of the Crepuscularium?
I do indeed. I would like to know your opinion of your companions.
Yes.
You appear to have one that is rather pompous and self-aggrandizing.
Yeah,
That can't quite.
Can you be more specific?
Yes, I mean, you choose. They seem to be very self-involved. Do you think they can commit themselves to this?
The one most difficult obstacle we have is, of course, the priest.
Mm-hmm.
He's gone through a great deal at this point, and I would have hoped that it would have broken his faith somewhat, but I see no signs of that really occurring in any concrete way. This is something we will have to deal with at some point. It will be very difficult. He's a good man, but he is profoundly deluded. You mentioned you know where the other two parts of the book are. Are they on different worlds, different planes, or?
My feeling is that they are on this plane.
They're in this world?
At present, that is where I seem to be led. You
I see.
notice that, as well as her skin being this mixture of blue, purples, and pinks, she's also covered in tattoos.
Mm.
And there is a tattoo just here that seems to almost glow and pulsate, especially around the book.
Uh-huh.
I believe that I can lead us in the right direction. It's not a specific science, alas.
Mm.
But if you follow me in my gut, then we can find it.
Marvelous.
This is of utmost importance to me.
This is
we unite these books.
Yes, this is literally my life's work. And so you may have no doubts whatsoever as to my commitment to this book. For me, this transcends any other concern whatsoever.
So when do we leave?
As soon as possible.
I'm ready.
Good. I think you and I will get along.
Darren, what are you doing whilst everyone else is running around having conversation?
Are you ready for some sendings, guys?
He's got another slot now.
Oh, he's got all the slots. What are we doing? Where are we
Slots.
sending?
Fantastic.
Slotmeister.
I'm going to send something to Eldred. I'm going to send something to Nora.
Okay, let's start at the top of the list. Where are we going first?
I'm sorry,
Yellow
this is
pages
going to
of
be
it.
a very heavy GM. Then I'm going to do a divination ceremony after that. So
Oh, okay.
just bear in mind.
Okay, good. Welcome to the talkie episode where nothing happens. No, I'm joking. Right. So, who's first on your list for sending?
Eldred Vernich, the Duskmourn.
Yes, of course.
Warden, and I'm going to send him a message to the, in my room, quietly, doors closed, peaceful, wind is blowing gently through the window. And I open my mind and I send to Eldred Vernich. I say, my love, part of the crepuscularium has been found. Deeply troubling. Full stop. What news from the capital? Yeah, that's it. Just a quick one.
Just a quick one. All right. You send that off, and I will give you a response shortly as I check my notes. Oh, it's actually on the page that I'm making notes on. Right. So, Eldred responds. Eldritch responds. Mixed news. Glad you are safe. Sad book. Much change in the last 24 hours. King, Queen abdicated. Steward top. And that's all you get.
Oh dear. Oh dear me. I think I need to burn another sending on that to find out who the steward is.
We know that, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
Do we?
What's his name?
He was the guy who originally.
Oh, what's the thing that was projected in the
Mm,
sky?
Purple. Oh, the Lord Kesh or Cash, whatever his name is.
Was it? Oh,
Duke of Uncastle.
Fam.
Lord Fam.
Lord Fam, yeah. Lord Fam, yeah.
Corpulent big man.
Okay.
Boring.
Okay, fine. I'll send a quick sending back to my darling mother again, who ghosted me last time, and this is going to be an unfortunate one. Mother, Dwarven lands seem safe for now. tragic news from the front. Georgina didn't make it. I will come.
Don't. Deathbringer.
Mom's harsh, man.
Yikes.
Doran takes a minute to digest that one. And I send
Freudian issues all over the place.
I send the last one, oddly, to Varian Darakos. And he is the Veil Keeper of the Drow. What's the empire called? Remind me, please,
The
God.
Drow Imperium.
Yeah, the Drow Republic.
Yes.
Varium Darakos. And I sent him a message. Brother, darkness has been pushed back in the Dwarven kingdoms. Do you see whispers of evil deep underground? Can we trust in the people there? Sorry, guy.
Well, it's more of a it's a very open question.
He's just like, who dis?
Lotus?
You found who dis?
Usual shenanigans, nothing untoward. Odd happenings in Senate. What else can he tell you? Fishy threats. That's what you get back?
Okay. Fair enough. I will spare you any more of that for now. And instead, I'll go and find Avery because I want to take a look at the map.
Right.
Him. And whoever else is around.
Well, Avery would have been at this point trying to find Captain Benteen, so you may not want to walk in.
Oh my god. Roll a d20.
Promising. 14.
14 and a 1. There is no sign of Captain Benteen. Give me an investigate check.
-1. That's a 6.
6. Nope. Sorry, can't help you.
I know she was here somewhere. If only I knew someone who had sending spells.
Has anyone given me the other book?
Not yet.
Ooh, what a map.
I would like to get everyone together to look at this living map because if we're going to have a summit in a few days' time, I think we should look at what this is.
Yeah.
So maybe I would send some runners from the willing dwarves and to pool everyone together into a conference room somewhere.
I'll be in my quarters experimenting with my alchemy set.
Okay. So shall we go
We
to
got a chemistry set for Christmas.
I'm glad. I thought it was a euphemism. Okay, so right, you gather everyone.
I do. Maybe in Avaran's quarters, which
Yes.
are probably large and spacious, drafty. One wall has been blown off, but
I've asked for a lot of glassware and a lot of There are things fermenting away in vials and tubes.
Alembics, etc.
You'll see me pricking my finger and putting it in different swabs.
So I'd like to roll out the map if everyone is here. Also, Gemini is here as well. She is, I assume, come with you.
What are you doing in my room?
I think we should take a look at the map, Avronis. Let's try and figure out what impact our victory in this area of the Dwarven Lands has had, because up until now, we haven't checked.
Again, we should not. But...
Yes, I did see you playing with a test tube.
We
roll
roll
out-
2 words, my friend. Private browsing.
I didn't put a sock on the door, so...
Your fault.
So you roll out the map, do you?
Yes.
And
And
what
somebody-
exactly are you looking at or
Well-
looking for?
Well, we're looking at the area around Eric Bar, especially the Dwarven Lands, has the darkness
It's vanished completely.
vanished. Where?
Score for
So
us.
just tell
So
us.
well, within the dwarvish territories, remember when you first looked at the map of Eric Bar, that whole region was
Yeah.
grayed out as if it was under the shadow.
Yeah.
That whole region is now no longer under shadow. There are 2 little points. There's 1 little point of darkness now on or around the Eric Bar region.
And where are they? Once
Well, that's around the Eric Bar region, which is where you are. So on that map, there's 1 little black point.
There's
Wow.
one black point.
However, the oceans around Eric Bar and Brunei and Ethane Vasul are all dark. Dark grey.
What is the darkness on this map?
Ethane Vasul is dark as well.
We suspect, Gemini, that this is showing is a live map, showing where the shadow has forces and influence across the prime material plane. So a few days ago, this whole area of Eric Bar was black and covered in shadow. And now, after our victory, it seems to have disappeared.
She's going to look at the map and see what state Cavalia is in on their plane.
Well, here, Cavalia doesn't have. It's got little black points. There's like 2 little black points. One near Hechbiokor and one near Zagrashkal, the 2 major cities.
Is your world a mirror of this
It's identical as far as
Yeah.
you can tell.
Identical as far as I can tell looking at this map. As I look at the map and I hold on to my marking, my tattoo, that gives me the impetus for where I might find the other books. Am I feeling anything looking at that? Is that helping at all? Or is...
Looking at the map, no. Give me a survival check.
19 plus. Oh, that's Georgie. Need to stop my papers.
Burn it.
No sheet. No. That was a survival, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So that is a non-natural 20.
Your current longing is to the northeast, which when you look on the map from Eric Bar, almost everything is northeast. It stretches across the entire Dwarvish territory and then into the gigantic Sajeti Empire. That is what is northeast from
Okay.
You have the map?
The darkness over the Athenian democracy, has that reduced, increased?
Nope,
Stayed the same?
it seems to be very slowly spreading.
Okay.
There are other black dots. Sajeti has got about 12. But unlike Eric Bar, which was the whole area was grey, now Eric Bar's got 1 black dot. Sajeti's got a few little black dots and possibly little spheres of grey around a few of the southern cities.
While everybody's perusing the whole thing, I want to cast Identify on this map to know exactly how it works.
Sure thing. So you cast Identify, and this is a real-time map of the amount of influence of Shidoth.
Lovely.
Dark points, focused points are individuals. And
there's two
the
spies
map
here.
is accurate to within, unfortunately, about 200 miles.
So yeah, we're not going to find the spy there, right?
Do we know that if, for example, the spy or whoever were eliminated, the map would immediately erase them?
Instantly.
Yeah. So it's linked to it. It's not someone has to go, oh, he's dead, I'll check him off my list.
Yeah, it not happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
The map is literally reading the influence of Shidoth.
I might get a chance. When I get a chance, I want to do the same identify on the book. Yeah.
The book, well, the book is a the book is more of a strategy guide or a list of orders. It is magically updated with information as directed by the scribes from, you assume, the Shadowfell. And so orders are added to this book.
In real time.
Yes.
So we can anticipate everything they do.
Unfortunately, this particular book is linked directly to the operations within the Dwarvish territories. So it is scrambled. The words can only be read by the individual to whom the book was assigned. So Fasak was probably the only one who could actually have read these orders.
Right.
But you do know that when you last looked at the book, an order was being added to that book. Even though it's scrambled, that is the last order that was added, and that was now 2 days ago. No new orders have come through.
Right, because he's dead. Okay.
Yeah.
That's very. But we shouldn't reveal what we know about this, especially on our group call, because we don't know who's going to hear that and know to stop updating these things.
Yeah.
This is our biggest asset. Well, our
But
second biggest asset.
if it only pertains to the Dwarven thing, and Fazik was in charge of the Dwarven thing, it may not be.
The
It
map.
may not be.
If
relevant.
you
map.
could read what the map for sure,
Yeah.
but if you could read this book, you could see their process.
I'll try a comprehend languages for the crack.
Oh, that'll work.
Oh, it works.
I mean, you could only go so far to protecting this.
Yeah.
Right. So comprehend languages. Yes, this is literally a strategy on how they start. And page 1 literally begins with bribery, finding officials, slowly working your way into a position of power, and it just reads like a invasion plan over 3 years. Alliances made with traders, with underhanded folk, etc., etc.
This would be very important for the FA democracy if we can let them see exactly how the influence spreads. It might actually reveal this Talador as a spy, not directly, but by influence. They are logical creatures after all. Worth a try.
Well, at the very least, it points us to some ends, some contacts. If we follow those contacts and follow their contacts, it will lead us through a circuitous route. But eventually, we'll find some more people in charge.
I think this is very valuable. I think showing the leaders of the world the processes by which their cities and towns and countries are being influenced allows them to look out for this behavior. It might not point to the perpetrators themselves, but it will allow them to monitor for it. This is very, very valuable.
Yes, they can anticipate what the enemy's next steps will be.
But what is the value in keeping that information secret?
I don't think we should. I think we should share it with them.
I think you should share
This is
it with.
true.
You need your leaders to know what is happening to your world.
Your
before it
testimony, in
becomes-
fact, might be very important. If they can verify your, they will have questions and suspicions, of course. But if we can verify your credentials, you have an extraordinary alarm bell that you can ring.
And in return for my testimony, when will we leave? When will we start to pursue the other parts?
You've made a plan.
If it was up to me, we would go immediately. But
And me too. But
I think we will find our job easier if the world is fighting against the Shadowfell.
Yes, agreed.
I hope so. And I would appreciate it if we try and bargain with them to get help on our journey.
Of
to
course,
speed it up as much as possible.
Indeed.
Well, all travel is locked down currently.
Magical travel, not. So.
No, but if we were able to open up the seas to travel for everyone else, armies could move, travel
But we must move as
Supplies.
quickly as possible, and therefore we must utilize whatever magics are available.
I point out the window. Well, our airship is approaching. Maybe we can use that.
If the dwarves will allow us, this would be perfect.
It isn't. Is it necessary that we are here for your conclave?
I would feel better if we were here for the conclave, and then we could leave straight after.
How good is the Wi-Fi on the airship?
I mean, I guess we don't have to be there.
Doran, I would ask a favor. I haven't been able to contact Bentine. I don't have any way of reaching her other than if you were to try sending her a message.
I can
Try
do
and
so.
ask her to meet me, say hello where I am.
I'm afraid I've used my power today already to send other messages at Varanus, but tomorrow morning, first thing, I promise I will send a message for you.
Thank you.
I can help you look for her physically if you wish today.
I do have a scroll of locate creature that we are going to use to do something else. If you think, oh, actually, no, I don't. I beg your pardon, because I've written that shit into my spellbook.
So you can
Task locate creature. Oh, bloody hell, I like foot level wizard spell. Let's check that hasn't changed in the player's handbook 2024.
Now, I have a surprise.
Oh, yeah.
No Karen game.
All right.
So as you're checking that, I'm slightly concerned that there's still a dark circle on the Eric bar. I wonder, the Vok that we captured, I assume they are still in the cells.
Good thinking.
the one left.
The one left.
I didn't tell you, but I kind of ruffled it a bit.
Frisky, Averatus?
Yeah. Can I say they expired easily?
And they are the enemy, after all.
They did damage Georgina quite a bit, so I'm fine with that.
I find in trying times extreme tactics to be the most effective.
You must wipe the Shadowfell from this world.
By any means.
I'm surprised my methods have not been called into question by you yet, Doran.
I was not there, Averatus. And sometimes aberrations need to be subject to the cycle yet again. And sometimes death is the way forward.
Perhaps a step in the right direction after all.
That's what they teach us in Duskmourn school, anyway.
You get over your aversion to those afflicted with undeath, and you'll start seeing eye to eye.
We've been through this already, Averatus. We had a deep conversation about it in the Shadowfell, if you remember.
I feel like you're still holding on to your faith a little tightly, considering everything. Do you not think you could have learned from Georgie's example? Do you think that she wanted you to distance yourself further from those who care for you? To sequester yourself, to lock yourself away behind that faith from the world?
Georgie was the light in this world, Averatus, and I will follow that light. But I do so in my own way. Can you say that my way is wrong? You also questioned faith in the gods, and what happened to you? You were struck down by lightning. Tell me that that is not a fact which irrefutably exists.
I do not doubt that existence, merely that
Am I
intention.
here?
You're all present in this.
Do you not? It hasn't occurred to you that in the entire time that we were fighting Fazak and your god could have stepped in and saved George's life. But no, he reserved his power for punishing two individuals who have helped defeat the darkness. Do you not see yet that he is a tyrant? They all are tyrants. This book proves it. Doran, you really must get past this. You are a foot soldier. You are a slave. It is time to lose your shackles. But let me finish the book at least, and then I can prove it to you.
Gottfried, we've talked about this a number of times.
Yes, and you have not listened.
I have changed, and I have listened, but I'm still not yet at the point where I'd relinquish my faith, having spoken with Halvoth himself not a few days past.
Really?
He asked me to choose a path. I am walking that path. I asked you as a friend to respect that.
Very well. The only caveat I would have to that is that if you actually met your god and he told you to pick a direction, are you sure he wasn't really asking you to keep the shackles on? To stay on the lead?
I cannot say.
Very well.
Let us not get sidetracked by
Indeed.
religious, philosophical discussions.
Mm.
So, next steps. Gemini?
I am keen to get moving, but it seems you have yourselves a appointment which we must wait on.
2 appointments, in fact. We have a honorary ceremony to attend.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, that's...
I've asked Gottfried what he thinks of the two of you, and I'd like to ask you both what you think this team can bring. It seems you are all very fractured, and I would not like such personal issues to get in the way of business.
We lost the glue that stuck us together recently, Gemini. She was the one who kept us pointed in the reasonably right direction. I too am worried about where this group is going now that the Crepuscularium, or part of it, is in Gottfried's hands. He seems to be even more fervent now than he ever was before. I'm concerned about his direction.
I will be guided by the light of reason, which is expressed most clearly in the book. And once I have finished reading it, well, I don't want to anticipate any conclusions.
Our methods may be questionable, but the results are undeniable. We have saved 2 people from annihilating each other, and they are cooperating in a way that is unheard of and would have been unimaginable but days prior. I don't think we're in any doubt that us working together is effective. We may have different ideologies, but we are working in the same direction, to the same end.
Indeed, he's quite correct. We are, after all fighting the same enemy.
Correct.
And that is the Shadowfell that wishes to destroy.
Let us
our
stay
world.
united behind that goal for now.
Yes.
The rest we will have to resolve as we continue together.
Very good.
Then, are you willing to help me if I help you?
I certainly am.
I will say this once more. The ends will justify the means.
Do you vouch for her, Gottfried?
Our acquaintance is very new, but I am convinced of her sincerity in pursuing our shared goal.
Then, professionally, your opinion is very valuable to me, Gottfried, despite our ideological differences.
Indeed.
I'll work with you, Gemini.
Very well. And Gemini will go around the circle and shake hands with each and every one of the gentlemen, looking them in the eye.
And apologies about the whole threats and stabbing.
Oh,
We do this on a daily basis. Don't worry about it.
a cornered animal will always strike out.
Doran giggles.
I will let the insult slide.
Oh, it'll be good to get used to it, really.
I see why you like her.
Didn't say I like it.
Anything else to be done today?
We want our loot.
We want our loot. All right. Well,
George promises loot. We want our loot.
And booty. Don't
The-
forget the booty.
the loot strum up, as unfortunately do the bagpipes.
Not that type of
And
loot.
there's a big ceremony, a parade, if you will, of the Bane in the front as one of the saviors of the city, followed immediately by Rising Sun, and then the 3 of you. Unfortunately, Gemini, you've been asked to do the opening, closing, middle, and pretty much the entire ceremony in totality. Yes. It almost feels that the parade is just a hurry along to get to the music.
She's doing her warm ups as they do all
Yeah.
their
No,
stuff,
no,
making
no,
sure
no.
she is fabulous.
However, the parade takes you through most of the city, where speeches are made at certain ruins, dwarves come forward and say that they remember when this was a tavern or a house or a home, and then the Bane dedicates it to a new structure. 1 in 3 are for centaur relations, stabling, grooming, that sort of thing. Until eventually you arrive at the steps of the citadel, which was not in a good condition to begin with. But the dwarves have done their very best in the last 2 days to try and shore it up as much as they can. There's a tapestry which they found of some great dwarf battle long ago that no one remembers about. It's been laid out on the floor. And you are presented with the following gifts by the Bane in recognition of your great leadership during battle, of your perseverance against the dark forces, and of your courage and the loss of your allies in battle. We had planned on giving out 4, for they were originally 4, but in honor of your fallen comrade, what would you have us do with the 4th gift? He says in front of hundreds of dwarves.
I would have you dedicate her memory to a structure in the city. Name a wing of a hospital, something of that ilk. Put the money towards.
It should be a barracks. It was a barbarian.
A tavern.
Yeah.
Build a fine tavern.
A bakery.
A bakery!
She would like
A
a bakery.
bakery. Yeah.
All right.
A bakery and some sort of training facility for
Yeah.
girls.
Gym,
for
yeah.
getting to buff up.
Local. Yeah.
That is what a bakery is.
Ah!
Have you not been in a dwarf bakery? That explains that.
Never seen a dwarf knead dough.
Yeah.
Especially dough that fights back. No. Right, we shall do that now. So we'll just put that aside then. So he takes his mithril mace and puts that aside. Right, now, in recognition of your greatness and your dedication to all things arcane, he sort of whispers, and also because I didn't know what the fuck he did in the battle, but I'm sure it was great. He pulls out of the chest this cloak, which looks like it's made out of chainmail. This ancient relic from our great battles against the evil dark elves was worn by one of our greatest mages into battle. It protected the mage in all of his engagements, and we as a city hope it will protect you in yours. He hands you his cloak. It is made out of pure mithril. It does not interfere with magic casting, and it counts as a +2 armor class magic item. Fantastic.
Ooh, what's your AC?
Vielen Dank. Well, it'll go up to 12. Shines up 110.
You're up to the same as me now.
In honor of your activities in defeating the grand evil, and also we weren't there, so we don't know what you did, but pretty sure it's impressive. As a valiant keeper of the faith of Helmoth, a shining light to all, we present you with this most appropriate, and he pulls out this very shiny breastplate. Suit of armor. The rest is around, it's just in the box. And this is plate armor with an AC of +2.
Oh, you are going to be unhittable.
Yeah.
I nod at the Bane.
Then
Thank you, my lord.
Then, to a general who may have seemed a bit unorthodox, we searched through the treasures of Eric Bar to find something appropriate. And lo, when we did, we knew that this was designed and destined for our great general Everardus, who led not but dwarf, but also centaur into battle. With his billowing cries, his rallying song, and occasionally his backward step to claim ground behind us as well as in front of us. There's a bit of a chuckle that ripples throughout some of the dwarves. We present you with this. And he pulls out this curved ram's horn, which is also a horn. This is the grand horn of MacTavish. I'll use the dwarvish term, but it's said with love. MacTavish the Bloody Mad, who led his armies from the front until he realized it was better to lead them from behind, and could be found all over the battlefield, leading his troops and inspiring them. May this inspire whatever troops it is that you might lead. This is a horn that 3 times per day you can blast on and cause any one of your companions to instantly pass a saving throw.
Ooh la la.
Very nice.
Shouldn't be used in confined spaces.
Is that a reaction?
Yes.
Very nice.
I take it with pleasure, and when this is used, for it shall be needed in the days to come. I shall remember the kind folk of Eric Bar and the gentle centaur of the woods beyond, and think of how they came together despite their differences, and how together we make this world a more hospitable place.
There's much cheering and fanfare, and then everyone gets shooed off of the stage really, really quickly as the new bard in town is brought on stage.
And she comes onto the stage, listening to all the cheers and applause, and she sings a haunting and beautiful song in her native tongue of fighting the shadows from within and without, and hopes to fill the hearts of all those in front of her. And then she gets into the party mix.
There was some more in there.
Yeah.
At the end of it, the dwarf comes up to you and he says, "By any small chance, lassie, you don't happen to use a mace, do you?"
I look at my -1 strength. I mean, it would make ever such a pretty accessory. Perhaps one of my new companions could use it, or...
We've already done that. Take it, you can hug it.
I mean, how heavy is... I mean, she goes to...
Oh, no, it's bloody heavy. It's literally a solid bar of metal. Tell you what, we'll figure something out, don't you worry? And he sort of gives you this wink with a lot of eyebrow and mustache coming together.
I bet you will, darling.
You are eclipsed as an airship slowly pulls into position above the citadel. It is an airship that you are very familiar with as it slowly swings into view.
I hope they aren't affected by the t-shirt cannons
that Indeed, yes. So this is the airship that you took to get here. It is the Shalen, as it was called, under Captain Higgard, that has now arrived on its journey. There's much rejoicing and much celebration, and waving from the top deck, you can see the diminutive figure of the young Alexander. He has been picked up and brought back. As well as standing next to him is Lord McTandy, the captain, or the head of the Black Scale, if you recall.
Black Scale are the zealot guys, right?
That's right. Not the top.
Okay. Cool.
I mean, I look up at Alexander and I wave, but I'm not really. The smile does not reach my face yet because I realize it's going to be another.
He's going to be
tough
rather sad, yeah.
discussion to be had with him.
God. Oh my
And
God.
I wave at him. He sees me. I hope he sees me. And I wave, and then I walk. I walk inside into the citadel, and I motion to someone saying, "When Alexander is done seeing everyone, please send him up to me." And I go to my quarters and wait for Alexander.
All right. So, because we don't need another one of those episodes, I would like you to please, let us see, give me a wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom save. 12.
12. The two of you meet Alexander the next day, and he has calmed down. You spoke him through the whole thing. And let us just say that he flew straight into his rage in terms of dealing with this whole thing.
I'm nursing a small, bloody, cracked lip.
Quite true.
Barbarian rage.
Probably close. Probably close. He did threaten to burn down the entire Dwarvish kingdom.
This is the
because
Alexander we
they
need.
failed to protect Georgie. He then moved on to threaten that he would become the greatest vampire lord ever and kill everyone because if Georgie wasn't alive, no one else deserved to be.
Lord!
And finally has settled on taking back the throne because he heard that his parents abdicated and using the kingdom of Brunei to annihilate the shadow, anyone involved with the shadow, anyone working with the shadow, which is a bit more of a manageable plan at the moment.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where he's simmering.
Okay. Well, they ended up in the right place then.
Yes.
Let's fan those flames, baby.
Yeah.
Sword practice, Alexander?
Sword practice. I want practice with armies.
Oh, I
I now have experience.
Let me show you my horn.
And with that, the third day dawns, and you are all magically invited to a meeting. Okay.
There was a little
was a
matter
little
with
something.
Captain Ben Team.
What was that matter before we?
Finding her.
Finding her, if he on another day had a recharge and could ride between the two of them,
He wants a bit of nookie.
I just want to know she's alive.
I'll cancel a quick creature.
She was alive.
Isn't that only within 1,000 feet?
Yeah.
She's not within 1,000 feet.
She's not within 1,000 feet. Sorry about that.
She was alive when we messaged her on the ship when we were arriving.
So sending. I cast sending.
All right. What are you sending?
Where are you? My quarters are parentheses location of quarters with geographical numbering.
Location to within 3 meters.
Yes. Find me if you are present and willing.
Straight to the
No.
And then just like
fire some flowers first, man. My
Okay.
God.
At least you're not sending him.
and then the boobs question mark.
Going through my mind.
Yeah.
So I'm actually respond. I'm going to get a picture of her mind.
Yeah,
her
of course.
boobs in my mind. Anyway, so I
So
said
that's what you said.
Yes.
Can I cast a tick pulse in reverse? I just don't know about any of this.
Reject thoughts.
So the response that you get back is tempting. Tempting. Can't. Mission. Later, babes.
Later, babes. Later, babes.
She even said it with a Z.
Just offer my assistance in any way, and my blessing and comfortable pet, and I'll be thinking of her if we cannot.
I've already spent one spell slot.
Yeah, you're not going to know. You're not going to know this or that.
Jordan's like, yeah, I'm just sending that now.
She says, "Okay, great, yeah, okay."
Thank you, you're a perfectly good friend.
Yeah, bye-bye. Yeah, bye-bye.
Yeah, let me team that.
Okay.
All right. So the four of you are telepathically communicated by this voice, which introduces itself as one from the office of the High Mark, and you have been invited to join in this arcanogram. you should be aware that your minds will be read at all times, if you agree.
I have nothing to hide. I click the join call button.
All right?
Recording in progress.
Yes.
By joining this call, you agree.
Exactly.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't know how I feel about that either.
I've got
There
some
are
things-
now 9 in the meeting, except for the 2 of you.
I'm in there. Come on, guys. Join up. What's wrong?
Reluctantly.
All right.
All right.
Unfortunately, you don't get an invite to the meeting because you're the new kid on the block.
Oh, fine.
So the 3 of you, the moment you accept one's invitation, the room that you're standing in, suddenly there are a whole bunch of magical illusions that appear in front of you of varying heights and of every species on the planet. There is the Pharos standing there. The Pharos is a 9-year-old kid. But has more followers, has a bigger army, has a bigger country than anybody else in this room. The North Queen from Brunei is there, looking very regal. There is a gnome standing there, sitting in a chair, which is gently hissing steam. There is the very large 9-foot Barbari standing in furs from the north. Standing next to him is a even larger orc, shrinking way down, is a very diminutive goblin who is currently picking his nose and swatting at flies. There is the very, very self-contained and simply dressed Heimark, the elvish leader. Coiled next to him is this very large, as in like 12-foot tall, serpent queen, the grandmother. Next to her is this very smartly, militantly, in black plate mail dressed canine. This is the Furus of the Great.
They're there as well. Okay.
They are part of the World Council. Even if they are completely banned illegal and believe everyone else should die and burn, they're still part of the council.
Wow. It's a party.
Next to him are 3 dwarves, the 3 lords. Looking for all the world as if she's about to knock something over is the Mian, the head of the Cathar folk, the cat folk, the Tabaxis. Standing next to her is a very imperial-looking proconsul from the Drow.
He wants to knock something over.
Yeah. And then standing next to him is this very pale-looking gentleman with very chiseled features and hair who's slicked back perfectly and looks vaguely like you think Charles would look if she were a man and 50 years older.
Right.
But the steward is absent.
There is no steward. Yeah.
Okay.
All of them turn to look at you.
Okay.
3.
If I'm in the room with them, are they just all zoned out? and
Yeah,
just-
literally, you just see them all standing there.
Can I whisper to her what's going on?
Nothing is
Nothing.
nothing.
Can't tell you what I'm gonna do. All right.
And we'll be back next week when we find out what exactly happens in and out of this conversation.
It's going to be a good party.
It's a heck of a
Okay.
party. I was just writing down the names of all of the leaders. I'm like, there's a lot of leaders in
Yes!
this meeting. Right. Favorite moment coming from number 13, which is Yusa.
My favorite moment.
Mm.
I got stuff. Got a new thing and it's shiny and my armor class is better. Yay!
Yay.
No. Favorite moments. You know, I don't know. I mean, I do like getting stuff, and we all got stuff.
All-
Is that?
You all got stuff.
Well, hey man, somebody offers you a mace, and you decide to turn your nose up it because of strength issues. I mean, come on, you could have
God,
sold that
lift
for a
the thing.
fortune. You know, I mean, Put it up on
Should swap
eBay
for
or
a
something.
magical loot. They're those things. Right?
Yeah, indeed, yeah.
You're just going to get a used pair of bagpipes.
Yeah.
From my muse.
Yeah.
Slightly moist. Yeah, it was just a progression.
Yeah. It was
adventure
unneeded.
part,
We need to
wasn't
move
it?
on.
Yeah.
It's the start of a new chapter, isn't
Sorry,
it?
Yeah.
man.
Dotting some I's, crossing some T's.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do the whole Alexander thing because I was like,
We've already
I-
plunged
I
ourselves in
agree.
the
Yeah.
fields
Yeah.
about
We
90
needed to
times.
cover it, but I also didn't want to. I said,
You
I'm going
did.
to go away, and if he wants to, then
Yeah.
That's a really good way of covering it, though.
Yeah.
Nice to summarise it, and, but keep the thing
Yeah.
moving.
Fair point.
Liked it.
All right. Until we meet you again. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Cheerio.
Bye-bye.
Bye.